Starting out, so many of my clients look to the scale to monitor their progress. And this habit is really rooted in the dieting industry. And I think it is more harmful than beneficial for a lot of reasons. We might engage in a lot of healthy habits the day before. We are prioritizing movement and sunlight and feeding our body with lots of good things. Yet the scale doesn't reflect those efforts. And even though we know what we did was healthy, if we're not getting that reward of, seeing the number we want to see on the scale, then that can really cause us to, engage in a lot of negative self-talk, maybe feel like our body is betraying us, and lose trust in this process and make us lose sight of what's really, really important. So there is no one single measure of success. And when it comes to making healthy lifestyle changes, it's critical that we focus on the process, enjoy the process, and aren't solely focused in on the outcome. Now, I talk about weight loss sometimes in my videos and my posts. And when I talk about weight loss, I'm really talking about it as just a side effect of healthy lifestyle changes. It's a symptom of all of these efforts you're making in your life to improve your circumstances. And if you have weight to lose, it's going to come off eventually. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But we've, as women especially, have just tried so many diets, have, sometimes succeeded and then gained the weight back, or just total failure, that we can lose trust and it's easy to get defeated. So in order to avoid that and to make sure that these habits are really sustainable, we want to focus in on other health markers. So I really discourage my clients from looking at the scale, especially every day, and instead really encourage them to look at these other positive changes that are happening in your life. And if we are only focusing on that number on the scale, we're neglecting all of those important positive health metrics. So again, as a society, I really hope that we can shift from this outcome-driven society of just, when I reach this number, then I'll be happy. Because if you're on a diet that you don't enjoy, or if you're, forcing yourself to do a workout that you dislike, then when you reach that outcome, is it going to be sustainable? And most of the time, the answer to that is no. So instead of being outcome driven, we want to be process oriented. We want to be focusing on the process, making sure that we're enjoying each step of the process so that it is sustainable. And then that is really where all the magic happens. And that's what makes these changes last. So some examples of health metrics to focus on rather than your weight. One is your mindset. So especially as women, we engage in a lot of negative self-talk. And I ask my clients this all the time. The way you speak to yourself, would you say those things to your daughter or your mother or your friend? And every time they're just like, oh, no, never. I would never say that to them. I love them. Yet we don't love ourselves enough to be kind and compassionate and nurturing and understanding. But we are very critical and just very hard on ourselves. And so seeing a shift there can be huge, being more positive than negative. And another positive change that can occur is just your mental health. Are you having less anxious thoughts? Are you managing stress in a more healthful, effective way? Instead of relying on certain foods that have these short-lived effects, instead focusing on things that have long-lasting effects and actually combat the stress, like getting sunlight and movement and, figuring out what you can and can't control and learning to let go of those things that are outside of your control. All of these things are huge wins. I know that so many people are just burdened by anxiety today. And so staying inside that circle of influence, focusing on the things that we can control, versus focusing on what we can't control, the way someone is thinking, what the weather is going to do, this, that, and the other. That's going to make us feel anxious because we can't control any of that. So staying inside your circle of influence is huge. How's your mood been? Is your mood more stable? Are you less irritable, less temperamental with your coworkers, more kind, more compassionate, and patient and understanding? That can be huge. Irritability can be a sign of, Tommy, I'm sorry, my dog is bathing himself. Oh, can you just not do that right now? Thank you. Anyway, mood. If we are feeling more irritable, that can be a sign of blood sugar imbalances. And instead of being hard on ourselves about being a bad person or unpleasant, we can start to recognize these signs that are trying to let us know, what habits we need to engage in. Like, say, prioritizing lunch at a certain time rather than, waiting until dinner, where your blood sugar is going to come crashing down. That's going to make you have those irritable thoughts. What about your energy levels? Are you waking up feeling more energized, like physically and mentally? Are you having less brain fog during the day? So more mental clarity, better focus, less distractions. Those can be huge. I mean, that can change your whole day. Are you just more motivated and inspired in your work? Are you enjoying that more rather than just trying to get through on copious amounts of coffee? These are all really important health metrics that, again, the scale is neglecting. That's not recognizing those important changes that are occurring. Another one too that is a number is a glucometer. You can use this to test your blood sugars. Just give your finger a little prick and it will tell you if your blood sugars are low. That might mean we want to make sure to eat something. If our blood sugars are really high, maybe we, had a little more than we needed at lunch, things like that. Maybe we didn't need that extra glass of wine at dinner last night. Maybe we'll be more aware of that next time. And this can be a really helpful tool for women with PCOS, which is very much related to blood sugar imbalances, for anyone with type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, and also I think women in general, but women who have suffered from chronic dieting or eating disorders, because when we get into a habit of eating for the wrong reasons, we really lose trust in our hunger signals, and our hunger signals aren't as accurate, honestly. We're eating for the wrong reasons. We're not eating when we should eat. And so just having this number, this unbiased number from this glucometer can let us know, like, hungry or not, my blood sugars are low, and it's important that I keep these pretty stable. So kind of taking away your past experiences or thoughts about food and really just making it as simple as this number that's your body telling you what it needs. So that could be a really helpful tool. And also another huge win, my client this morning, she was going to tell me about a win that she had, but she started by saying, now this might seem silly, but... And of course, I knew it wasn't going to be silly. I knew it was going to be huge and awesome and amazing. But in her mind, it wasn't really enough until now. And so this win was, preparing a list for the grocery store, going to the grocery store when she said she was going to go, coming home with all the things that she said she was going to get, and not a bunch of junk and stuff she didn't need. And this is huge for so many reasons, right? This habit alone, this is part of that process. Doing that planning ahead of time, so you're not just running to the grocery store on a whim, frantically throwing in all those familiar foods and ingredients that aren't good for you, but you're overwhelmed, and so you just get them this time. But instead, doing that preparation, knowing that you're going to have all the food that you need and all these tools that you need to, sustain these healthy choices for the rest of the week. And that can be very reassuring. That's such a great feeling, and one that we should never neglect. Nothing is too small. So I thought that was huge. And another one too to pay attention to is, how are your clothes fitting? For women, is it easier to reach behind you and latch your bra? Is your bra not cutting into, your side as much? That can be really unpleasant and painful. There's the obvious, like, are they fitting looser? But also, when you get outside, are you experiencing less discomfort, like chafing between your legs or under your arms and things like that? I mean, these are huge, right? If we have all of these factors working against us, all this pain and discomfort, it's going to be harder to engage in these healthy habits that are going to help us see results. But these tiny little wins, not tiny, these wins along the way are just helping us get closer to that. And again, should not be understated. So pay attention to how your clothes are fitting, how you're feeling. And also too, if you are very active and you do weightlifting and things like that, you might not be seeing the number on the scale budge, but your body composition will be changing. If you're replacing fat with muscle, then you're going to become then more dense, and you're still going to have that weight, but you're going to see those changes physically. So that's something that the scale can't tell you, but measuring or paying attention to how your clothes fit can tell you. So that can reveal a lot. And then just paying attention to your confidence in yourself, your trust in your body, and the compassion you're feeling towards yourself, the grace that you give yourself if you have a slip up, how are you responding to that? Are you bouncing back? Are you falling back into old habits? Things like that. That's huge. How you respond to stressors in your life or unexpected events. That is just proof that you have all of these wonderful resources and tools and knowledge to succeed no matter the circumstance. And that can be very comforting to know. And so last thing I want to say is that those weight loss programs, the diet industry is huge in America, multi-million-dollar industry, and they really can catch your eye by saying fast, easy, weight loss. But you need to start questioning that. We need to start questioning everything, honestly. But, why is it fast? Why is it easy? The questions we need to be asking is it enjoyable? Is it healthy? Is it sustainable? And am I going to enjoy the process or feel like I'm being punished the whole time? Feel like I'm being deprived and all of this, because that's not a sustainable model. But a sustainable model is finding adaptations that fit your needs and your unique life circumstances, and having that compassion for yourself, knowing that the changes you're making are going to have a compound effect over time. It's like interest, right? So, 10 cents isn't super exciting in 1 week, but if you look 10 years down the road, seeing the compound effect of those changes is huge. The difference between living paycheck to paycheck and, on your way to financial freedom, right? So thinking about it the same way when it comes to these healthy lifestyle changes and the repercussions of that, which are going to be weight, I assure you, and all of those other wonderful things that you want. But knowing that it's consistency and it's those adaptations and all of those things that will really lead to that positive outcome down the road. But it's vital that you enjoy the process and really ditch the scale, because it's not reflective of all of your hard work and all of your effort and all of the positive changes going on inside your body. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys. And if this resonates with you, please give me some feedback. If you want to know more or work with me, please reach out, DM me, and I would absolutely love to chat. Thank you guys.